Have you ever imagined what it would feel like to step away from routine? Not for a weekend, not for a short escape, but to truly disconnect. To wake up without alarms. To breathe without checking the time. To let your eyes rest on something that has existed long before schedules, deadlines, and expectations. This series was created for that exact feeling. A journey around the world, nature's most breathtaking places, is not about ticking destinations off a list. It is about slowing down enough to let places speak for themselves. And today, our journey begins in Indonesia. Indonesia is a world shaped by extremes. A land where water falls endlessly from the sky and fire rises silently from the earth. Spread across the equator, Indonesia is made up of more than 17,000 islands, each one carrying its own rhythm, its own landscapes, its own hidden corners. But despite this vastness, there is one element that connects everything here. Water. Water defines Indonesia's identity. It arrives with tropical rains that nourish forests and fields. It flows through rivers that cut through mountains and valleys. And it gathers its strength before plunging downward, creating some of the most dramatic waterfalls on Earth. Indonesia's waterfalls are not just beautiful landmarks. They are expressions of geological time. They exist because volcanoes erupted long ago. Because rain never truly stops falling. Because the land continues to rise, collapse, and reshape itself. Our journey through Indonesia begins by following this water, from mist and rain to rivers, and finally, to waterfalls. The language of water. In many parts of Indonesia, waterfalls are hidden deep within dense jungle. You don't arrive at them suddenly. You feel them first. The air becomes cooler. The sound of insects fades into a distant hum. The ground grows damp beneath your feet. And then, slowly, the sound emerges, a low, continuous roar that grows louder with every step. This sound is not aggressive. It is constant, grounded, almost meditative. Indonesia has hundreds of waterfalls spread across its islands, each shaped by different terrain and different histories. Some fall gently over wide cliffs. Others crash violently through narrow canyons. Some are tall and narrow, while others form massive curtains of water stretching across entire valleys. But among them all, one stands as a symbol of Indonesia's raw power and natural beauty. Tumpak Sewu Waterfall. Our journey truly begins at Tumpak Sewu Waterfall, located in East Java. Its name translates to 1,000 waterfalls, and when you stand before it, the meaning becomes instantly clear. Tumpak Sewu is not a single stream of water. It is an entire wall of cascading flows spilling over a vast semicircular cliff. Water pours down from every direction, forming dozens, sometimes hundreds, of individual streams that merge into a powerful force below. This waterfall exists because of volcanic history. Behind Tumpak Sewu lies the Semeru volcanic complex, one of the most active volcanic regions in Indonesia. Over thousands of years, eruptions shaped the surrounding cliffs, while constant rainfall carved deep channels into the rock. The result is a landscape where water and stone exist in perfect balance. Standing at the viewpoint above Tumpak Sewu, the scene feels unreal. Mist rises constantly from the base. Sunlight filters through the water, creating shifting patterns of light and shadow. The sound surrounds you completely, echoing off the canyon walls. But the true experience begins when you descend. The path downward winds through jungle vegetation, slippery rocks, and narrow trails carved by time and footsteps. As you move closer, the waterfall grows louder, more immersive, more overwhelming. At the base, everything changes. The air is thick with moisture. Your skin feels the spray instantly. The ground trembles slightly beneath the constant impact of falling water. Looking up, the waterfall feels endless. This is not a place for rushing. It demands stillness. Many visitors stand silently here, not because they are told to, but because the environment naturally quiets the mind. Tumpak Sewu is not simply seen. It is felt. Continuing through East Java, water leads us to another extraordinary location, Matakarapura Waterfall. Unlike Tumpak Sewu's wide openness, Matakarapura feels intimate and enclosed. This waterfall is hidden inside a tall, cylindrical canyon, with water flowing down its walls like delicate threads of silver. Legend says Matakarapura was closely connected to Gajah Mada, one of Indonesia's most powerful historical figures, and is believed to have been a place where he spent his final years. Whether myth or history, the atmosphere here feels deeply spiritual. As you enter the canyon, towering cliffs rise on all sides. Thin streams of water fall from above, soaking the walls and creating constant echoes. At the center, the main waterfall descends from a high opening in the canyon roof, creating a dramatic beam of water that feels almost celestial. Here, water does not roar, it whispers. Time slows. Movement softens. The outside world disappears. Moving north to Bali, the landscape changes, but water remains the guide. Hidden among Bali's lush highlands lies Banyumala Twin Waterfall. Unlike the dramatic scale of Tumpak Sewu, Banyumala offers harmony and balance. Two powerful streams fall side by side into a calm, emerald pool surrounded by dense greenery. The setting feels largely untouched, with a natural sense of calm and balance. The pool below reflects the surrounding trees. Birds call softly from above. The water flows steadily, without violence. Banyumala represents another face of Indonesia's waterfalls, one of peace rather than power. Not far away lies Sekumpul Waterfall, often described as one of Bali's most beautiful. Sekumpul is actually a collection of multiple waterfalls spread across a deep valley. Reaching it requires effort, steep paths, river crossings, and careful steps. But the reward is immense. Tall streams plunge from jungle-covered cliffs, surrounded by mist and greenery. The sound fills the valley, but somehow feels gentle rather than overwhelming. Sekumpul reminds us that Indonesia's beauty is often earned, not given freely. Water as a beginning. Across Indonesia, waterfalls are more than destinations. They are reminders. Reminders that the land is alive, that nature moves continuously even when we stand still, that beauty often lies where effort meets patience. And as water continues its journey, flowing away from cliffs and valleys, it transforms once again. It becomes rivers. Rivers that carry volcanic soil through forests and plains. Rivers that shape valleys, nourish ecosystems, and guide human life. As water continues its journey across Indonesia, it does not simply disappear into the distance. It follows paths carved by something far older and far more powerful. High above the rivers, the land rises into volcanic mountains, shaped over time by underground heat, pressure, and tectonic movement. Indonesia sits along what is known as the Pacific Ring of Fire, a massive zone of volcanic and seismic activity that encircles much of the Pacific Ocean. This single geological fact explains much of Indonesia's character. The mountains here are not accidental. The valleys were not gently formed. And the fertile land that supports forests, rivers, and human life exists because volcanoes have erupted again and again for millions of years. In Indonesia, volcanoes are not distant monuments. They are living presences. Some rise quietly above villages, releasing thin trails of smoke. Others dominate entire regions, shaping weather, rivers, and ecosystems around them. To understand Indonesia, you must understand its volcanoes. Rising above East Java, Mount Semeru stands as Indonesia's tallest volcano and one of its most active. Semeru does not demand attention, it commands it. Its symmetrical cone rises above the surrounding landscape, often capped with clouds that shift and break apart throughout the day. From a distance, it appears calm, almost serene. But Semeru is constantly alive. Small eruptions occur regularly, sending ash into the sky and reminding the land below of the power beneath its surface. These eruptions are not catastrophic. They are part of an ongoing rhythm that has shaped the region for thousands of years. The volcanic material released by Semeru enriches the soil, allowing forests to grow thick and green. Rivers begin their journey on its slopes, carrying minerals downhill and spreading life outward. Here, destruction and creation exist side by side. Nearby lies Mount Bromo, one of Indonesia's most iconic volcanoes. Unlike Semeru's towering presence, Bromo feels otherworldly. It sits within the Tengger caldera, a vast volcanic plain known as the Sea of Sand. The ground here is covered in fine volcanic ash, stretching endlessly in all directions. At sunrise, the scene feels surreal. Soft light spreads across the caldera. Mist drifts through the air. Bromo releases gentle smoke from its crater, as if breathing. The contrast is striking: dark volcanic sand below, glowing skies above. Bromo's eruptions are relatively small, but its visual impact is immense. Standing near its crater, you can hear the earth rumbling faintly beneath your feet. This is not a silent mountain. It speaks, quietly, constantly. Further east lies Mount Ijen, home to one of the most unusual natural phenomena on Earth. Ijen is famous for its acidic crater lake, a massive turquoise body of water formed inside the volcano itself. The lake's color is mesmerizing, almost unreal, but its beauty hides extreme conditions. The water is highly acidic, shaped by volcanic gases rising from below. At night, the volcano reveals something even more extraordinary: blue fire. This rare phenomenon occurs when sulfuric gases ignite upon contact with oxygen, creating electric blue flames that dance across the crater floor. Ijen is a reminder that nature does not exist for comfort. It exists on its own terms. But even here, life adapts. Local sulfur miners work daily inside the crater, moving carefully through harsh conditions. Their presence highlights Indonesia's unique relationship with its volcanoes, not as obstacles, but as realities to live alongside. Rivers born from fire. From these volcanoes, rivers begin their journey. Indonesia's rivers are direct results of volcanic terrain and constant rainfall. Water collects along mountain slopes, carving paths through forests, valleys, and plains. One of the most significant is the Bengawan Solo River, the longest river on the island of Java. Flowing steadily through agricultural regions, Bengawan Solo has supported human settlement for centuries. Its waters nourish rice fields, villages, and ecosystems along its banks. Further west, the Kapuas River in Borneo, Indonesia's longest river overall, winds through dense rainforest and remote regions where wildlife still thrives. Rivers here are not just geographical features. They are lifelines. They connect mountains to seas, forests to villages, past to present. And these rivers are more than just water in motion. They are the great distributors of life. They carry the mineral-rich volcanic soil, the fertile ash born from fire, down from the mountains and spread it like a life-giving gift across the islands. This is the essential collaboration. Fire creates the foundation, and water delivers it. And from this partnership between the most powerful elements, something magnificent grows. The rivers feed the roots of Indonesia's true green heart, the ancient, breathing, unimaginably rich rainforests. As rivers slow and terrain shifts, water gathers once again, this time into lakes. Indonesia's lakes often occupy volcanic craters or tectonic basins, creating landscapes of deep stillness. One of the most remarkable is Lake Toba in North Sumatra. Lake Toba is not simply a lake, it is the result of one of the largest volcanic eruptions in Earth's history. The eruption occurred tens of thousands of years ago, collapsing the volcano into a massive caldera that later filled with water. At its center lies Samosir Island, itself nearly the size of a small country. Standing at Lake Toba's edge, the scale is difficult to comprehend. The water stretches endlessly, framed by high cliffs and rolling hills. The surface often remains calm, reflecting skies and clouds like a mirror. Minutes pass here. Nothing changes. And in that unchanging surface, everything feels put into perspective. Despite its violent origin, Lake Toba feels peaceful. On the island of Flores lies another volcanic wonder, Lake Kelimutu. Unlike Lake Toba's vastness, Kelimutu consists of 3 smaller crater lakes, each known for changing colors over time. One may appear turquoise, another deep blue, another reddish-brown. These color changes are caused by mineral reactions beneath the surface, influenced by volcanic gases. For local communities, Kelimutu holds spiritual significance. The lakes are believed to be resting places for souls, each serving a different purpose. Science explains the chemistry. Culture explains the meaning. Both coexist here. A landscape in balance. Across Indonesia, volcanoes shape rivers. Rivers feed lakes. Lakes calm the land. Fire gives birth to water. Water softens fire's legacy. This balance defines the Indonesian landscape. And as rivers continue their journey, they eventually reach the coastline, where forests give way to mangroves and land dissolves into sea. In the final part of our journey, we will move into Indonesia's green heart and blue depths. Its rainforests, national parks, coral reefs, and oceans. Places where life reaches its most diverse and vibrant forms. As rivers complete their journey and meet the sea, Indonesia reveals another side of its identity. One that grows upward, outward, and endlessly. Green. Indonesia is home to some of the oldest and most biologically rich forests on Earth. Forests shaped by volcanic soil, constant rain, and tropical heat. Forests where life does not merely exist, it competes, adapts, and thrives. These forests are not uniform. Each island carries its own ecosystems, its own species, its own rhythms. To walk into an Indonesian rainforest is to step into a living system that never truly sleeps. Tropical rainforests of Sumatra and Borneo. On the islands of Sumatra and Borneo, Kalimantan, rainforests stretch across vast landscapes, forming dense canopies that block sunlight from reaching the forest floor. Here, trees rise hundreds of feet into the air. Roots twist and intertwine. Vines climb endlessly toward light. These forests are ancient. They existed long before modern humans arrived, and they continue to support an extraordinary variety of life, from rare birds and reptiles to insects and countless plant species found nowhere else on Earth. The air inside these forests feels heavy and alive. Every sound, every movement has purpose. Even silence feels full. One of Indonesia's most important protected areas is Gunung Leuser National Park, located in northern Sumatra. This park forms part of a UNESCO-listed ecosystem and is one of the last places on Earth where elephants, tigers, and rhinoceroses still coexist in the wild. Gunung Leuser is not carefully landscaped or easily accessible. It is raw, unpredictable, unforgiving. Rivers carve through jungle valleys. Mist rises in the early morning. Rain can arrive without warning. This is not nature presented for comfort. It is nature preserved for survival. Moving eastward, the landscape shifts dramatically. Forests thin, hills become drier, and the land takes on a rugged, prehistoric appearance. Here lies Komodo National Park, a region defined by savanna hills, volcanic islands, and surrounding coral-rich waters. Komodo is famous for one extraordinary resident, the Komodo dragon, the world's largest living lizard. These ancient creatures move slowly across the land, basking under the sun, reminders of a time when reptiles ruled the earth. But Komodo is more than its dragons. Beneath the surface of the surrounding seas lies one of the most diverse marine ecosystems on the planet. Raja Ampat, far to the east, in the remote waters of West Papua, lies Raja Ampat, often described as the crown jewel of marine biodiversity. Raja Ampat is not a single island, but an archipelago of limestone formations rising sharply from crystal-clear waters. Above the surface, small jungle-covered islands dot the horizon. Below the surface, life explodes in color. Coral reefs here support more species of fish and coral than almost anywhere else on Earth. Schools of fish move in synchronized patterns. Sea turtles glide silently. Coral structures form vast underwater cities. The ocean here is calm, warm, and endlessly alive. Raja Ampat represents Indonesia at its most untouched. A reminder of what the planet looked like before human interference reshaped coastlines and seas. Along Indonesia's coastlines, forests meet the sea in quieter ways. Mangrove forests grow where land and ocean merge, their roots extending into salt water like natural bridges. These ecosystems protect coastlines from erosion, support fish nurseries, and serve as natural buffers against storms. Mangroves may not appear dramatic, but their role is essential. They represent balance, life adapting between two worlds. Indonesia's waters connect two vast oceans, the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. This position creates powerful currents, nutrient-rich waters, and extraordinary marine diversity. Whales migrate through these seas. Dolphins travel in pods. Reef systems stretch for miles beneath the surface. For centuries, the sea has shaped Indonesian culture through fishing, trade, and exploration. Even today, many communities live in harmony with the tides, reading the ocean as carefully as others read the land. A living tapestry, Indonesia is not defined by one landscape. It is a tapestry. Waterfalls falling from volcanic cliffs, volcanoes rising above fertile valleys, rivers weaving through forests, lakes resting in ancient craters, forests breathing life into the air, oceans carrying worlds beneath their surface. Every element connects to another. Nothing stands alone. And perhaps that is Indonesia's greatest lesson. That balance is not found in stillness, but in movement. Not in control, but in adaptation. Closing reflection. As our journey through Indonesia comes to an end, we are left not with a checklist, but with a feeling. A sense of scale. A sense of humility. A reminder that the world is far larger, deeper, and more alive than we often remember. If this journey inspired you, if it helped you slow down, even briefly, consider sharing this video with someone who might need the same pause. And if you would like to continue traveling with us, exploring the world through nature's most breathtaking places, don't forget to subscribe to the Unscripted Show. Because this journey is only just beginning. In the next episode, we travel north to a land shaped by ice rather than fire. A country of deep fjords, towering cliffs, frozen waterfalls, and endless skies. Join us as we begin our journey through Norway.